favorite scary movie?
Well, I'm Pennywise the dancing clown.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast!
Oh, you son of a...
God, don't do that.
But sometimes that is better.
Hey guys, what's up? KillJoy Jake here. I am doing a very special episode today with Podcast Now. We are here with Alex from Podcast Now. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Jake. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for coming, man. We're going to be talking a little bit about Scream 5, going through the cast list, and just kind of talking about, like, if we think these characters are going to die, if we think legacy characters are actually going to survive this film, and if we think there's maybe some characters that could lead a new trilogy of films. So I just want to kind of go through the cast list and just kind of talk about, like, who we think is going to live, die, maybe just be the new final girl, be Ghostface, anything we really want to talk about here. Starting off, though, I just want to talk about Jenna Ortega, who I'm highly speculating is probably going to be our new final girl. Alex, what do you think about Jenna Ortega's character coming up in this new film? Her name's going to be like Tara Carpenter.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I think we talked about theories and stuff, or I guess expectations running crazy on my video. I think that she can be a very good character, and I think just the fact that I think statistically she's the youngest one, even from Dylan Minnette and on all these other characters, or I guess living people, she's by a mile the youngest one. So I think the writing's kind of on the wall for her to be the final person, whether her sister makes it or not, for her to be the final girl leading out of this movie and kind of growing up, if that's kind of the path they want to use. At the same time, it could easily be this is a potential where you could kill her off, and that would be a massive story because she is definitely a big name, and like I said, the youngest. Being Ghostface, I've talked about that personally before. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's something they'll do just anyway. But the possibilities are open. I think she could easily be the final girl, but she could also be killed at some point in the movie to kind of throw us off as well.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I definitely see some maybe some badass sisters or something coming into here, like maybe Melissa Barrera's character and Jenna Ortega. They're like just fighting Ghostface together. There's been a little bit of speculation about that online. That would be pretty cool to see. I'd be totally down for that. We also have I don't know why I'm going to right here, but we have all the legacy characters coming back as well. Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, Courtney Cox as Gale Weathers, and David Arquette as Dewey Riley, of course. How big of a part do you think they're going to be playing in the new Scream, Alex?
God, man, I want it to be a lot. I really do, and I get wanting to transition to younger people. I completely understand that, but if this is going to be the last movie, like with some of them, whether Dewey dies or if Gale dies or heaven forbid, I don't want Sidney to die, but if she were to, I'd like them to play a pretty fundamental role to the movie. It just seems like especially from what we kind of see behind the scenes of their filming, especially Neve, right? She was not on set very long. So to have her be in 10, 20, 25% of the movie is kind of probably the max that you'd be getting her, which is okay. You got to give it to new people, but I hope at least she survives. I could see them taking out Dewey. I really do believe he could go. Gale, or Courtney Cox, even the oldest of those three, she's wanted to be killed off before, kind of like behind the scenes. So I think it's definitely possible one of those two go, and they keep Neve around to kind of be a mentor, kind of not really a mother because she, for what we know, she's not, right? But maybe like a stepmother or like an adopted kind of thing. But I think it makes sense to keep her around.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I definitely think they're not going to be playing as big of a part, which is definitely polarizing to some long-term fans of the series. It's going to be a very different movie, for sure. I'm excited about this new cast, though, kind of moving more into that. We also have Jack Quaid, who is from The Boys, which I'm a huge fan of that show. Would love to start talking about season 3 of that. Don't know if it's horror enough for me to be talking about it, of course. But I do know that he's going to probably be playing a big part in this new film. Do you think that maybe Jack Quaid's character is like the nice boyfriend character who actually turns out to be Ghostface? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he kind of seems like it, right? And especially if you look at the other ones, even like a Dylan Minnette kind of stands out as like, he could easily be kind of like a troubled kid inside, and we just don't know it, and that kind of leads it. But Jack Quaid, like you said, kind of has both of that. Like he could maybe be. Just asking the question of could he be a boyfriend and could he also be Ghostface does kind of suggest he has that demeanor about him where yeah, he could be. And now I don't know. I'm actually going to live time. I'm going to click on his age. He's 28. Jenna Ortega is 18, and Melissa Barrera is like 30. So Could he be like an older boyfriend for Jenna Ortega and a younger for Melissa Barrera? I think it's possible you mix them in somewhere. But yet again, Jenna Ortega, Tara Carpenter, they mentioned her love status of this movie kind of being not like that. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I think he could definitely be a red herring to be bad.
I feel that for sure. They also, same thing with Dylan Minnette, like his name is Wes Hicks, so it's like there's so much to unpack there. I don't know if it would I don't think they're going to make the obvious choice Ghostface. Like, I remember when that name first came out, I'm like, okay, come on. Like, no way. They're not making him Ghostface. We also have Kyle Gallner, who's just Vince. We have no last name from him yet. Do you think there's going to be some kind of reveal about that with Kyle Gallner's character in the new film?
Yeah, there's got to be, right? You look at Dylan Minnette, he's got the like you said, Hicks is like, oh Jesus, like what and then his first name Wes, like what the heck are they doing there? Jack Quaid has a full name, right, first and last, and then Kyle Gallner doesn't. I think now I don't know too much about him in real life, but he could very easily be. I think what wasn't one of the early rumors about him, like he could be Billy Loomis's son, right? That you have a connection there. Yeah, I do think the fact that he doesn't have a last name and he is, obviously, like on Google or Wikipedia, their names are sometimes they're jumbled up in terms of who comes first, but he is probably like a top 8 or so actor in this movie, and so that's kind of that's a big spot to be in, and then to not have your last name known. Yeah, there's got to be some connection, maybe with a legacy character there.
Oh, for sure, yeah. He also, like, something I pointed out in one of my older videos was that if you look at a picture of, like, Kyle Gallner right now to a young Skeet Ulrich, they look pretty similar, man. I mean, that casting's pretty good if you want to go that route, so I would not hate on that theory at all. We also have Heather Matarazzo coming back as Martha Meeks, Randy's sister. Now, I speculated a little bit in one of my videos that possibly she would come back with a new videotape of Randy, possibly, and that's how Randy could maybe somehow come back into this franchise. He's obviously very long dead. I don't know if he faked his death or anything like that, but what do you think they're going to do with her character in this new film?
Well, that's a good theory. I didn't know you said that, but I actually really, really like that, because I think when you talk about potential of like flashbacks or older characters come, I think you will probably see, this is just a prediction, I think you'll probably see one of 3 of Randy, Stu, or Billy back. Whether it's a flashback, whether it's I don't know, like Sydney is like literally seeing ghosts and she sees like their adult version, like right now version of those characters. I do think one of those 3, at least, will be back in this movie as part of that, kind of paying respects to the past. And so, yeah, I think a lot of people may think she would die. She'd be like the first kill to bring Sydney back. I like that idea because you do need you need a reason to bring Sydney in and give her like motivation. It could also be killing off Dewey that does this. It doesn't have to be. And really, some people have said you don't even have to kill somebody. It could be like gravely injuring or like a threat to somebody. That could also bring her back. You don't necessarily have to kill somebody. And also, not to play the actress down, but I mean, for the opening kill, if there is an opening kill, you probably want it to be a big name. And I don't really think her being the opening kill, yes, to bring Sydney back, that'd be cool, but I don't really think that's, why, like you said, why she's back. I think that's actually a really good idea, bringing back another tape of Randy to get Jamie Kennedy back in here. I think that's definitely a possibility.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Another weird character that they're bringing back is Marley Shelton from the 4th movie. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, but, like, I don't know what they're going to do with her character. When that was announced, I was very confused. I was almost like, what, like, are they just trying to tie this movie into the other sequels? What are they trying to do with this? Like, do you think she's going to heavily affect the plot? We already know that, like, someone related to her, Dylan Minnette's character, Wes Hicks, same last name, so she's going to have either a son, maybe like a nephew, cousin, or something. What do you think they're going to do with that in this new film?
Yeah, it's kind of odd, right? Because like there's nobody else that's coming back from Scream 4, right? I mean, maybe they bring back Kirby in some sort of cameo, but besides that, you could look at, like you said, like, okay, it's just a nod that 4 existed. You know what I mean? Because really, if this movie wanted to pretend like 4 didn't really happen, and I do think this movie may gloss over maybe, 3, 4, but if you wanted to just pretend 4 never happened, you really could. But now you can't because you bring her into it. So, yeah, like you said, but here's a question I have, and I'm even asking you in your own video, Jay. Do you think that, like, having her be a killer, because a lot of people could think like maybe she was Ghostface. There were hints that maybe she had some malicious, that she kind of had, something about her in 4. I think that's a cool thing, and like that would be some sort of payoff. At the same time, not everybody watched Scream 4. Not everybody not just watched it, but loved it. Even the people that actually watched it. And this really is another soft reboot. So would you have the Ghostface killer, or even if there's one, if there's two, would you have it be a character that was in 4, even though this was, you know what I mean? Like, this was a reboot. So, like, you're putting a lot of, I don't know, like, you're putting a lot of eyes on this character that some people maybe, you know what I mean? Am I kind of explaining that right? Like, it seems like not something you would do. You maybe would want to use a brand new one, or definitely a legacy one that we've known for so long.
Well, they've used her as a red herring in, like you said, in Scream 4.
Yeah.
I don't think they bring her back and then have her as Ghostface, because that, like, to me, that seems too obvious. You have her coming back, you have her having a kid with a suspicious name, like named after the director. I just feel like that's too obvious. I feel like they're definitely going to go the red herring route again with this character, and I think the audience is totally going to buy it. That's my theory right now. The last thing I want to talk about, and then we'll wrap things up, is we also have Dwayne Martin coming back from Scream 2, who he, of course, played Joel in that film. Any thoughts on that? Like, any just last-minute thoughts? That's kind of like a little bit of new news. I don't even know if that's really confirmed. They kind of just have it on Google right now, so I'm not...
Yeah, it was put on. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, the last time, like, I'm going to believe the Google thing only because I believe for WandaVision, right, Evan Peters was put on Google, and people said, like, oh, that was the leak as to who the character is going to be, and that turned out to be true. And whether or not, I don't really know how that all came about. I think, people are coming up with connections between him and other, established characters. So he definitely could be a love interest to somebody that we already have established, right? I guess Martha Meeks is who people have, connected it to. It could just be a nod. You know what I mean? I think that coming in so late, I don't know if he would have like a major, well, actually, I don't think in any circumstance would he have like a major role, maybe like 2 to 5 minutes. Okay. Max is I guess what I'm predicting, but I think we could actually see several, if they could do this with other characters. Now, not many of them you can do because most of them are dead, but if you can do this, I do think we'll probably see even characters that aren't, listed right now. I do think we'll see some of those nods because I do think they're going to try to respect and if they can even bring back in certain ways, just as many, I would argue as many characters as they possibly can.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with that for sure. Alex, I just wanted to thank you so much again for being on one of my videos. It means a lot. I'm a huge fan of your channel.
Thank you so much for having me, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you guys all so much for watching. I'm going to link all of Alex's stuff in the description below. Make sure to subscribe to Podcast Now and, of course, my channel if you're not already subscribed. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to just look up KillJoy Jake on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.